Hi students, good morning. Welcome back to our physics classes. So we were talking about rigid body dynamics and we have stopped with the concept of couple, two equal and opposite forces acting through 2 points which are separated by a distance. Then we can say that that is a that generates a couple. Then we have seen what is moment of couple and how you can calculate the moment of couple. So moment of couple is measured as one of the force multiplied by the perpendicular distance between the line of action of these two forces. So that is the concept of couple and moment of couple. Then you have already learned that total moment of forces is equal to, equal to zero. That means clockwise moment is equal to total anti-clockwise moment. So based on this equilibrium, so we already said that a rigid body is said to be in equilibrium when there is no force acting and where there is no torque acting. Both torque and force acting on a rigid body is equal to zero. Net torque and net force acting on a rigid body is zero. We can say that the rigid body is in equilibrium. So a special kind of problem is there in physics, that is ladder problem, leaning ladder problem. That means a ladder is placed on wall. Keeping on wall in a slanted direction, which means suppose you are having a wall here. On this wall, a ladder is placed like this. A very casual situation. We are keeping a ladder close to our wall. So that ladder is not slipping, which means it is in equilibrium. It is in equilibrium. So what are the forces acting on that? What are the forces acting on that? Or how you can say that it is in equilibrium? That we are going to discuss now. Okay, so we are starting with the leaning ladder problem, or simply the ladder problems. Okay, this is our ladder problem. See, here a ladder AB. AB is a ladder and it is placed slanting on the wall, keeping on the wall. And at the point A and B, which is in touch with the floor and the wall respectively, they are getting a reaction force. So here you are having a normal reaction which is acting in the upward direction, and here you are getting a reaction force RB from the wall, normal to the wall. Here G is the point of center of gravity through which its weight is acting in the downward direction. See, this is a force Fs. Fs is the friction force acting towards the point C, the foot of this wall, and N normal reaction and Fs are two forces are acting. So its reaction or its resultant is the net force at the point A, which is Ra, which makes an angle theta with the flow. So these are the forces acting on the ladder. These are the forces acting on the ladder now. And we can say that this ladder is in equilibrium. This ladder is in equilibrium. So to keep the ladder is in equilibrium, you can say that what is the force acting here? The force acting here, the point A is F is equal to Ra cos theta and N is equal to Ra sin theta. At equilibrium, Fs is equal to Ra cos theta and N is equal to Ra sin theta. Okay, so that is the along x-axis. Along x-axis, for equilibrium, it has to prove that, it has to be satisfy that Fs is equal to Ra cos theta and N is equal to Ra sin theta. Okay, so for translatory equilibrium, delta Fx or sigma Fx should be 0 and sigma Fy should be 0. What is sigma Fx? Sigma Fx is the total force acting along the horizontal direction, that is x direction, and sigma Fy is the total component of force acting in the y direction. So along the horizontal direction we can have F and RB are acting. Fs is acting towards the right and RB is acting towards the left. You can see here Fs is acting towards the right and RB is acting towards left. In vertical direction, N is acting in the vertical direction upward and W is acting in the downward direction. So for the ladder to be equilibrium, in translational equilibrium, we can say that Fs minus Rb is equal to 0 because Fs and Rb are acting in opposite direction. So the total force in x direction, that will be delta or sigma Fx is equal to Fs minus Rb should be 0. Fs minus Rb should be 0. That is Fs is equal to Rb. Okay, then sigma Fy is equal to, which are the forces acting in the y direction? They are N minus W equal to 0. So N is equal to W. So what is Fs here? Ra cos theta. So which is equal to Ra cos theta. And what is W? That what is N? That is Ra sin theta. Okay. So these are the conditions for translatory equilibrium. That means no force should be acting on the ladder either in x direction or in y direction. No force is acting on acting either in x direction or in y direction. Okay. Now one part of equilibrium we have discussed now, that is translatory equilibrium. For to complete equilibrium of this rigid body, you have to show that the total torque acting on it is also 0. Total torque acting on it is also 0. That means the total clockwise moment is equal to total anti-clockwise moment. So for that, which are the forces which can generate torque or moment that is, which are the forces acting when you are taking the moment of force about the point A, W is acting in the downward direction and RB is acting in the horizontal direction. That means W is acting in the vertically downward direction and RB is acting in the horizontal left direction. So minus W into AD. AD is the distance from the point A. We are taking the moment about the point A. So here you can mark the point T. So from the point, the line of action of this force W is AT. So since it is acting in downward direction, minus W into AD. You can write minus W into AD plus RB into BC. Equal to 0. That is due to the moment of total moment should be equal to 0. So we can write as RB into BC is equal to W into AD. RB into BC is equal to RB into BC equal to W into AD, where BC and AD are the perpendicular distance from the point about which we are taking the moment to the line of action of these two forces. Perpendicular distance between the line of action of these two. See, this is the point A and this is the line of action of RB. So the distance between these two is BC. This is the line of action of W this is a fixed point, so AD is the perpendicular distance from A to the line of action of W. So that is why we are taking minus W into AD plus RB into BC. This is anti-clockwise and this is clockwise. So that is the net torque or net moment will be 0. That should be equal to torque equal to 0. Net torque acting on it is 0. Okay, so this is the condition for a ladder to be equilibrium. That means total force acting on this should be 0 and total torque acting on this should be 0. Clear? So that is the last topic in this chapter, rotational motion. That means rotational motion of a rigid body. That is moment of inertia. Okay, now we can start with some problems. Okay, now we can start with the problems from this chapter. The problems are very simple problems and the concepts are also very simple. So we can start with the problems based on torque and angular momentum. Torque and angular momentum. So the second question from your textbook, the angular velocity of a wheel increases from 1200 to 4500 revolutions per minute in 10 seconds. During 10 seconds, the angular velocity changes from 1200 to 4500 revolutions per minute. Find its angular acceleration, then number of revolutions made during this time. So you know, we have to find out alpha. So what are the given data? Omega 0 is given, that is initial velocity, which is 1200 revolutions per minute. So 1200 by 60. This is F0. Revolutions is given, no? F0. And F or Fi. And F final is given 45 revolutions per minute. Okay. So delta F means linear frequency, number of rotations. That is 3300 divided by 60. Now we can calculate delta omega. Delta omega is 2 pi into delta F. Because omega is equal to 2 pi F. So that will be 3300 divided by 60 into 2 pi. What is this? This is delta omega. What we need? We need alpha. So alpha is equal to delta omega by delta t. What is delta omega here? 3300 divided by 60 into 2 pi divided by, what is t here? T is given as in 10 seconds. So that will be 10. Delta t will be 10. So what will happen? 100 and 100 get cancels. Then it will become 66 by 6. 66 by 6 will become 11 pi. So alpha is given 11 pi radian per second square. Because angular displacement you are measuring in theta, and the theta is measured in radian. 2 pi radian is 1 full cycle. So 11 alpha will be 11 pi radian per second square. So one part is over, that is we have calculated the angular acceleration. Now you have to find out number of revolutions made during this time. So in one revolution it travels 2 pi radian. So during this change, during this time, how much theta it can derive? You have to find out how much theta it can derive during this time, and when you divide it by 2 pi, you can calculate how many revolutions will be there. So n into 2 pi will be theta. Theta is the total angular displacement or angular distance traveled. Okay, so you have to find out theta. Theta is angular displacement. Theta is equal to omega 0 t plus half alpha t squared. This equation is very similar, familiar to you. U is, I mean, S equal to ut plus half at square. So what is omega 0? 1200 divided by 60 into 2 pi t plus half into what is alpha? Alpha is 11 pi. 11 pi into 10 square. This t is 10. Okay. So when you are calculating this, this will become how much it will become? 60. It will become 20. 20 plus 4 into 10. So 400 pi. Is it 400 pi plus this will be 100. 100 by 2 will be 50. So that will become 50 multiplied by 11. That is 550 pi. Is it? Altogether it will become 950 pi. So this is theta. This is a total angular distance travel. So for one rotation, how much angular distance it can travel? 2 pi radian. 2 pi radian for one complete revolution. Complete revolution. So how many revolutions will be there? That will be theta divided by 2 pi is equal to L, or theta is equal to 2 pi multiplied by L. Okay. So by 2 pi, theta by 2 pi will be 950 pi divided by 2 pi. So pi and pi get cancel, 950 by 2. That will become 450 plus 35. That will become 475. So how many rotations it can have? 475 rotations it can make. Clear? Then question number 5. Calculate the angular momentum of a disk whose rotational kinetic energy is 10 kilojoule and moment of inertia about its axis is 44.5 into 10 to the power minus 4 kilogram per meter square. What are the patterns given? Its rotational kinetic energy is given. Rotational kinetic energy is Ke is equal to rotational kinetic energy is equal to half I omega square. Then what else is given? Moment of inertia is given. I is equal to what is I? 4.5 into 10 to the power minus 4. 4.5 into 10 to the power minus 4. And this is 10 kilojoule. So 10 into 10 to the power 3 joule. Okay, it is 10 into 10 to the power 3 joule. Now you have to calculate angular momentum. Angular momentum is J. J is equal to I omega. J is equal to I omega. That you have to find out. So from this 2 you can find out omega. So half I omega square. So half into 4.5 into 10 to the power minus 4 into omega square is equal to 10 to the power 4 joule. 10 kilojoule. So omega square is equal to 20 into 10 to the power 3. I got taken here to here divided by 5 into 10 to the power minus 4. Is it? This will become yes, 5, 4. 4 into 10 to, sorry, half I. This is 4 so it is 4.5, not 5. It is 4.5 into omega square is equal to 20 or 2 into 10 to the power 4 divided by 4.5 into 10 to the power minus 4. 4.5 into 10 to the power minus 4. So omega should be square root of that. Omega should be square root of that. Then you can multiply. So this is omega, and omega you are getting when you are calculating. I got omega as 6.67 into 10 to the power 3. 6.67 into 10 to the power 3. 6.67 into 10 to the power 3 is omega. Then J is equal to I omega. I is the omega is the, you just substitute for I and omega so as to get the value of J. And it is found to be 3 into or 3 kilogram meter square per second. Its answer is 3 kilogram meter square per second. I got like that only. We just check. And simple 4.5 into 10 to the power minus 4 multiplied by 6.67 into 10 to the power 3. How much it is? That will be kilogram meter square per second will be the unit of J. Is it clear? The method is clear now. Very easy method. That is kinetic energy is given half I omega square. I is given from the you have to calculate omega. Then I into omega. Okay. Next is question number 9. Find the moment of inertia. It is based on moment of inertia, kinetic energy, rotation, law of conservation of angular momentum. Based on all these concepts, the next set of questions are there. So from the 9th question is find the moment of inertia of the hydrogen molecule about an axis passing through its center of mass and perpendicular to the internuclear axis. Given mass of the hydrogen atom is 1.7 into 10 to the power minus 27 kilogram and the interatomic distance is 4 into 10 to the power minus 10 meter. So it's a linear molecule. Hydrogen is a linear molecule. So two hydrogen atoms are there, each are having mass of proton or hydrogen atom. Okay, so hydrogen mass is given by 1.7 into 10 to the power minus 27. Both are similar. And the distance is 4. 4 into 10 to the power minus 10. And it is rotating about an axis passing through the center. So this is just like a linear rod rotating about in the axis perpendicular to the length. So it will be I is equal to mr square divided by 2. Mr square divided by 2. So what is m here? 1.7 into 10 to the power minus 27 multiplied by r square. 4 into 10 to the power minus 10 square divided by 2. Simple. And its answer is 13.6 into 10 to the power minus 47 kilogram per meter square. 13.6 into 13.6 into 10 to the power minus 37. 37 or 30? 47. This is minus 47 kilogram per or kilogram meter square. It is mr square, no? So kilogram meter square minus 47 kilogram meter square. Simple. Just you substitute that equation I is equal to mr square divided by 2. Okay. Then question number 12. The moment of inertia of a flywheel is 4 kilogram per meter square. What angular acceleration will be produced in it by applying a torque 10 Newton meter on it? So it's question number 12 from your textbook. Question number 12. And it says moment of inertia of a flywheel is given. Moment of inertia I is given as 4. Is it? I is given as, yes, 4 kilogram meter square. 4 kilogram meter square. And torque is given. Torque is also given. Torque is given as 10. Torque is 10. No, yes, 10 Newton meter. 10 Newton meter. You have to find out angular acceleration. I think. Yes, angular acceleration. So you know that equation. Tau is equal to I alpha, or alpha is equal to tau by I. Tau is 10 by 4, 10 by 4 is 2.5. Simple. 2.5 radian per second square. 2.5 radian per second square. Acceleration, angular acceleration, its unit is radian per second square. Okay. That is question number 12. Next is question number 15. Question number 15. The angular momentum of a body, angular momentum of a body is given by or is given as 31.4 joule second, and its rate of revolution is 10 cycles per second. 10 cycles per second. Calculate the moment of inertia. Calculate the moment of inertia of the body about the axis of rotation. Calculate the moment of inertia. Angular momentum is given. Angular momentum J is given as J is equal to I omega equal to 31.4 joule second. J is given by 31.4 joule second. And its rate of revolution is 10 cycles per second. So F is given as 10 cycles. See, if it is given radian per second or cycles per second, that is F only, not omega. And that of number of revolutions, number of rotations, all are only F. So omega will be 2 pi F, that is 20 pi radian per second. 20 pi radian per second. It will come as 20 pi radian per second. Okay, then we have to find out I. I think question is moment of inertia. I you have to find out. So I is equal to J by omega. So what is J? 31.4 divided by 20 pi. 20 pi can take 2 into 10 pi. 10 pi is 31.4. So it will become 1 by 2 into 31.4 divided by 10 pi. Getting cancels. 1 by 2. 1 by 2 is 0.5. Okay. Then question number 18. A wheel is rotating at a rate of 1000 rotations per minute. I already told you 1000 rotations per minute. That is only F. And its kinetic energy of rotation is 10 to the power 6 joules. Its kinetic energy is given 10 to the power 6 joules. Determine the moment of inertia. Again, the same concept you have to use. Again, F is given 1000 per minute, 1000 by 60. And the kinetic energy is half I omega square is equal to 10 to the power 6 joules. So we can write I into 1000 by 60 into 2 pi square is equal to 10 to the power 6 multiplied by 2. Half comes here. So I is equal to 2 into 10 to the power 6 divided by 1000 by 60 into 2 pi whole square. Simply it is I by omega. Omega is not directly given. In terms of F, we have to calculate omega. Then omega square is the I is equal to 2 into kinetic energy divided by omega square, and it is found to be I to be 182 kilogram per meter square. It is found to be 182 kilogram per meter square. Sorry, kilogram meter square. I is kilogram meter square. 182 kilogram meter square. Simple, no? Direct substitution, but sometimes the data are not directly given. So in terms of frequency, you have to find out omega. That's all. Now question number 21. Question number 21 says, moment of inertia of a ring is 3 kilogram per meter square. Moment of inertia of a ring is 3 kilogram per meter square. It is rotated for 20 seconds from its rest position by a torque of 6 Newton per meter. Calculate the work done. It's a ideal question. We can say like that. Moment of inertia is given. Moment of inertia, I is given. Then torque is given and time is given. You have to find out the work done. So, how you can find out work done? Work done in rotation is tau into theta. Force into displacement, torque into angular displacement. You want to find out theta. Initially, it is at rest. So, omega 0 equal to 0. Okay. So, theta equation is omega 0 t plus half alpha t square. This term we can to find out alpha first. For finding alpha, what is given? Moment of torque is given and moment of inertia is also given. Tau is equal to I alpha. Tau is equal to I alpha. So alpha is equal to tau by I. What is tau? Tau is given as 6 and I is given as 3. So alpha is equal to 2. Then theta is equal to 1 by 2 into 2 into t square. 2 is 20 square. So it will become 400. Is it? Then W is equal to omega. W is equal to tau into theta. What is tau? 6 multiplied by 400 is equal to 2400. That is the work done in rotating. That is the work done in rotating. Okay. Now, question number 25. The last question number 25. Calculate the moment of inertia of Earth about its diameter, taking it to be a sphere of mass 10 to the power 25 kilogram and diameter 180 to 100 kilometer. Diameter is given, mass is given, and it's a sphere. And if for a sphere about its diameter, its moment of inertia is given by 2 by 5 mr square. I already told you to learn that equations. So that will be 2 by 5 mr square. You just substitute these values in that equation. I is equal to 2 by 5 mr square. So m you have to take it as 10 to the power 25 kilogram and r is 6400 kilometer. Generally it is 6400 kilometer. So 6400 kilometers, that is 64 into 10 to the power 5 or 6.4 into 10 to the power 6 whole square, mr square. So I is equal to 2 by 5 mr square. 2 by 5 into 10 to the power 25 into 6.4 into 10 to the power 6 whole square. 2 by 5 mr square. 2 by 5 mr square, when you are calculating that, you will get 1.64 into 10 to the power 38. 1.64 into 10 to the power 38. 1.64 into 10 to the power 38. Kilogram meter square. Kilogram meter square is the unit. Okay. So I think you feel that it is very simple problems. That means already we are knowing that equation. You just substitute all these values in that equation to get the solution. Okay. So similar problems are there in your textbook. So you try to solve all those problems in your numerical program. Okay. So that's all for today, and that is the end of the chapter rotational motion of a rigid body. And next class we have to start with our new chapter. It's a surprise. Okay, so we will meet in the class. Till then,